You are being charged more for less every single month, and most of it is by design. These aren't random price increases. These are habits that companies spent years building around your paycheck, back when money felt a little easier. And now that it doesn't, the habit stayed. The prices didn't. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which ones are still quietly running in the background, and exactly where that money should be going instead. Look, I went through this myself, and when I actually ran the numbers, I realized I was paying for a version of my life that I built in 2019. These prices aren't that version anymore. Let me show you what I mean.
Here's what actually happened to your spending between 2019 and 2026. It wasn't one big thing. It was never one big thing. It was 12 small things, each one feeling reasonable on its own. A delivery fee here, a subscription that auto-renewed there, a price increase on something you'd been buying for years that you didn't really notice because you were already used to clicking confirm. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. Companies are very good at one specific thing, making you comfortable with a price before they raise it. They get you hooked when it's cheap. They build the habit when the economics make it feel fine. And then slowly, quietly, they shift the math, knowing that most people won't cancel something they've been using for 2 years just because it got a little more expensive. Food delivery apps did this perfectly. In 2015, they were subsidizing your orders. Venture capital money was making your $20 meal feel like a $12 meal. They needed your habit. They needed you to build the reflex of opening the app. And it worked. And then the subsidy stopped. And now that same $20 meal is $32 after fees, tips, and markups. And you're still opening the app because the habit is already there. That's not an accident. That's a business model. And it's not just delivery apps. It's the new car with the 7-year payment, the iPhone you upgraded because they made the old one feel slow, the extended warranty they sell you at checkout when your credit card already covers it for free, the wellness product that promises results the boring free version would actually give you. Each one of these, individually, feels like your decision, but together, they're a system. A system built around the specific moment when you have money in hand and a habit in place. The question isn't whether these companies are evil. The question is, are you still paying 2026 prices for 2019 habits? Because that gap between what these things cost now and what they cost when you started using them, that gap is coming directly out of your paycheck every single month. So let's go through them. 8 things that are quietly draining your paycheck in 2026 and what to actually do instead. Trap 1, food delivery apps. The average DoorDash order in 2026 is 30 to 40% more expensive than just picking up the same food yourself. That's before the tip. That's before the service fee. That's before the menu markup that most people don't even realize exists, where restaurants charge $1 to $2 more per item on the app than they do in person. A single burrito that costs $15 at Chipotle becomes $22 to $29 delivered. And if you're doing this 3 times a week, which a lot of people are, that's an extra $150 to $200 a month going to fees and markups, not to food, to the system around the food. What to do instead? Pick it up yourself. Take 5 minutes. The food is better, it's cheaper, and you just saved yourself $2,000 a year. Trap 2, new car payments. The average new car in America now costs $50,000. The average monthly payment is $750. The average loan term is 6 to 7 years. Do that math. $750 a month for 7 years with interest is over $63,000 out of your pocket for a car that'll be worth maybe $25,000 when you finish paying for it. And here's the part nobody talks about. If you put that $750 a month into a basic index fund instead,
Over 30 years, that's over $1 million. That's the real cost of the new car habit, not the payment, the opportunity. What to do instead? Buy a 3 to 5 year used car. Most of the depreciation is already gone. You're looking at a 30 to 40% discount on what it sold for new. Drive it until it actually dies. Trap 3. Upgrading your phone every year. Apple puts out a new phone every September. That's not a coincidence. It's a calendar strategy. The difference between an iPhone 14 and an iPhone 16 is marginal for most people. The difference in cost is over $1,000. If you upgrade every year, you're essentially renting your phone at premium price. Hold it 3 to 4 years. The upgrades become meaningful. The savings become real. Trap 4. Actively managed mutual funds. This one is specifically for anyone who has a 401k and hasn't checked what it's actually invested in. Over 20 years, from 2005 to 2025, more than 85% of actively managed funds failed to beat the S&P 500. 85%. And they charged you 1 to 1.5% per year for the privilege of underperforming. The math on fees alone is staggering. $500,000 invested over 30 years, the difference between a 0.03% index fund and a 1% managed fund is $1.2 million. Not from performance, just from fees. Check your 401k. If anything has an expense ratio above 0.25%, find an alternative.
Trap 5. Extended warranties. Every extended warranty sold at Best Buy or Costco checkout is one of the highest margin products in retail. They are selling you fear at the exact moment you're most susceptible to buying it. If you have a premium credit card, Chase Sapphire, Amex Gold, most Capital One Venture cards, you already have extended warranty coverage built in. You are literally paying for something you already own. Skip the warranty. Self-insure. If it breaks, you replace it. The math almost always works in your favor. Trap 6. Wellness industry products. $7 trillion industry. Built on one thing, selling you a shortcut to results that boring free activities would actually give you. The $25 smoothie, the $300 yoga set, the peptide subscription, the app that tells you to breathe differently. Walk every day, sleep 8 hours, drink water, eat real food, do some form of exercise you don't hate. That's it. That's the whole protocol, and it costs almost nothing. The wellness industry exists because people want the result without the process. That's understandable, but it's also expensive, and it doesn't work as well as the boring version. Trap 7. Airbnb and travel markups. Airbnb fees have become the new Ticketmaster fees. A place listed at $120 a night becomes $210 after cleaning fees, service fees, and taxes. Hotels are fighting back with better pricing in a lot of markets, so actually check both before you book. And on flights, the 2 to 3 week window before departure is often cheaper than booking months out for domestic travel. The algorithm knows when you're anxious. Book when you're calm. Trap 8. Status spending. Designer goods bought to be seen. Concert tickets to the megastar in the nosebleed section for $400. Table service at a club. The new car that the salary can't really support. One question cuts through all of it. Would you still want this if nobody could see it? If the answer is yes, then it's a real purchase, and it just becomes a budget question. If the answer is no, you're not buying the thing. You're buying the perception of having it. And that's one of the most expensive things you can buy in 2026. And look, I'm not saying never spend money on things you enjoy. I'm saying know what you're actually buying. Because there's a difference between spending and draining. And right now, for most people, the line between those two things is where the whole financial gap lives. Let me show you what the math actually looks like when you redirect the drain.
Someone earning $55,000 a year, about $3,100 a month take home. They go through the 8 traps and find the ones that apply to their life. Food delivery, 3 times a week habit. Extra cost versus pickup, roughly $160 a month in fees and markups. Gone. New car payment? They're currently at $620 a month on a car they bought new 2 years ago. They keep it. They don't upgrade. They stop thinking about upgrading. That money stays. Active mutual fund in their 401k, expense ratio of 0.9%. They switch to a comparable index fund at 0.03%. On a $40,000 portfolio, that's roughly $350 a year back in their pocket. Not dramatic now, compounded over 20 years, significant. Extended warranty habit. They've been buying it on every electronics purchase. Average $50 to $80 saved per purchase. Small, but consistent. Status spending audit. They find one recurring status purchase they wouldn't make if nobody could see it. Cuts it. $120 a month back.
Total redirected per month, approximately $420 per month. Not found from a raise, not from a new job, from stopping the drain. That $420 put into a total market index fund every month, over 25 years at 7% average annual return, becomes over $360,000. From stopping the drain. From taking the habits they built in 2019 and actually looking at what those habits cost in 2026. Here's what I want you to understand about this moment. Most people know some version of this already. They know food delivery is expensive. They know the car payment is heavy. They know the extended warranty is probably unnecessary. They know. They just haven't stopped. Because stopping feels like giving something up. But what you're actually giving up is the fee, the markup, the trap. Not the thing, the trap around the thing. You can still get food. Just pick it up. You can still drive a good car. Just don't finance it for 7 years. You can still go to concerts. Just not the $400 nosebleed version. The life doesn't change. The drain does. And the money that stops draining, that's not just money. That's options. That's the month where something goes wrong and you don't spiral.
That's the job offer you can actually think about, instead of taking immediately because you need the paycheck. That's the version of your financial life where you made the decisions. Not the apps, not the payment plans, not the fees. That's what stopping the drain actually buys you. Run your own version of this audit. Seriously. Just look at 3 months of bank statements and find the traps. That's the whole first move. If this gave you one thing to cut this week, not next month, this week, I'll be here for the next one. See you then.